What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Podcast, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls _ Peck, Big Dave, Bow, BAWL Sports, Will the Goat Gottlieb, Will _ Gottlieb, looking perfectly coiffed as usual. The plain gray hoodie,
got the cap
in full effect.
Got the Leave It to Beaver vibe going on, baby.
Yeah, I love it. So the cap's on, but you can still see the coif coming out the front.
It's right. The coif is quaffing.
The coif is quaffing.
It's time for a haircut.
Our pal producer Joey Spathers on the controls. He is at Joey Spathers. Thanks for joining us. Happy Friday afternoon. The weekend is upon us.
Yes,
and it's needed because you know we were back from All-Star break for one night, one game, and then today, and I'm like, I could use a break.
After a week off, he got one game. It was like, use another one there. Give me another.
Unapologetically, how I feel right now as a Bulls fan, Dave.
I'm not mad at you.
I'm not
mad at you.
It's true though. Like when in like high school and middle school, if you had like a Monday off, you always felt like coming to that next week, it was going to feel so short.
Yeah.
But then since you like psyched yourself out that it was going to be a short week, it actually started to feel really long.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm stuck in November right now.
Oh man,
you're
still there?
Yeah, it's bad. I unplugged my brain from the Bulls and came back, and I'm like, ugh.
You went to November. To ask you said you were in a tiny cabin.
Yeah,
in New York.
Yeah.
Why?
The listing on Airbnb was actually called Tiny House.
Tiny house.
Yeah.
How tiny was it?
Extremely.
With like this room, like this. Right here?
Much smaller than this.
I'm talking about from that wall to like this.
Much smaller than that.
Damn.
Was it like what are those like shipping container type deals?
Basically like that, but instead of a rectangle, it was a cube. So it was like you walk in, it was like, okay, bed, tiny little kitchenette, tiny bathroom, and then tiny bunk bedroom opposite the tiny bathroom. And that was it.
Okay, and
it was maybe...
That's fun for a weekend.
50 square feet.
And why?
Because it was cute, and it was located near to where my friends live up in the country who we were there to visit.
When I think Matt Peck, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, but when I think Matt Peck, I don't think cute.
No, it was more so for the locale.
Okay.
And the fact that it was just me and one buddy.
Okay.
And
so two people were in this place.
Right.
Wow.
And so I was like, I'm taking the big bed because I paid for it.
Well, yes.
You can have the bunk bed that's just barely big enough for you.
Okay.
And it was enough space. We only spent a few hours at the end of each night there. We were there for 2 nights.
And what was the savings on this?
It was like $400 cheaper than 2 nights at most of the other Airbnbs in the area.
There
bed?
we go. All right.
How big?
All right.
How big was the big bed?
It was a queen.
And
big enough.
See, I didn't think you could even fit a queen based on how you're describing
that's
it.
what I sleep on every night.
My other
baby.
observation is that tiny house seemed to me like something that would have made you angry.
No
the concept of tiny house.
No.
Interesting.
This dumb, stupid, small room, dumb concept. Millennials.
No, it was
open floor concept.
It was very quaint and very charming.
I'm glad you like it.
I did.
I like
leave
this version
the
of
host. The hostess Teresa. She was very nice. She was very responsive and helpful. I did leave a 4 out of 5-star review because tiny house. Its plumbing was, let's say, less than perfect, and it was cold as hell upstate New York.
That's quaint.
So the pipes froze, and so when we got there was no running water.
Oh my god, that's quaint. But you saved $400.
Save $400, man.
That's what's key right here.
Yeah, exactly. There were bigger houses and other options in the area, but I was like, hey,
Bruce said it was made of bacon.
Dude, if I ever live in a house made of bacon, it won't last long.
It won't last. Yeah, that's a quick day and a half of
eat all the support beams and bracing beams.
What happens first? Does the house disappear or does Matt have a heart attack?
Oh, I'm going with house disappear. Yeah.
I could get it done before the heart attack got me.
That's my
They
favorite.
would be in quick succession.
Yeah,
the last bite, and then life-ending heart attack.
There'll be an ambulance on the scene,
Totally
sir.
worth
Don't
it.
worry.
Oh, dude, no. If I die from a bacon-induced heart attack, DNR, baby. I'm going out on top. That's how I've always pictured it anyway. Dying
Some people
at like a breakfast buffet
quietly in
somewhere
their
where I
bed
just
in their
steal one
sleep.
of the full trays of bacon and just sit in front of me.
That's going full Ron Swanson. Just
Hey, Charlie the Bacon guy, you got a picture. That's it right there. Just man's face.
I don't think Charlie the Bacon guy wants that on his conscience.
You don't want that
He
face
doesn't-
down.
He doesn't want that blood on his bacony hands.
Oh, shout out to Bacon Joe.
Yeah. So, okay. After that random tangent, there is a lot to get to today. The Bulls have news, big news, buyout market news. Just kidding. The news is that the Bulls said no thank you to the buyout market, or the buyout market players said no thank you to the Bulls.
I think that's probably the more accurate one.
And they have promoted Onuralp Bitim, who was on a 2A with Windy City. He's been playing some real minutes with Windy City. We will talk about that. We'll also take a look at where the Bulls are playoff seeding wise, their odds for the final stretch here as far as where they will end up in that play-in tournament seeding. And then we'll wrap up briefly touching on the newest chapter of the Last Dance saga and how no one from the good old days of the Bulls actually like each other anymore. Well, I guess Scotty and Horace and Luke like each other because they're doing their own tour down there in Australia in our friend Mark's neck of the woods, which I think the first spot of that is in Melbourne, which later tonight, Australia.
Oh,
Because it's already Saturday in Australia, right? So Saturday night, I think, is the first one.
okay.
I would ask if Mark was going, but he's probably on his way here to go see Ryan Archidiakono.
Oh, you know it. You know Mark is so happy that Archie's
No,
back.
Mark is down there for Elimination Chamber for the WWE.
Okay.
That's
There
where
it is.
He's staying. He's
There it
staying.
is.
He's going to Perth. He's going
There
to
it
Perth,
is.
Australia. and hanging
You've
out.
turned Mark into a big wrestling fan?
Oh, you know I've been messing with him, right?
I have seen a couple of you back and forth on Twitter.
It's been kind of glorious for me.
All right, so let's start with the actual roster news we got earlier today. That was from Shams on Friday morning.
Oh,
Bulls
he is going. He just tweeted.
Oh, he is? He
Mark.
told me he was on the fence about it.
He said, because I'm an idiot, I ended up buying tickets to the no bull thingy.
Yes.
I immediately regretted the decision.
No.
We got to remember, he don't get to see the Bulls down there.
So we'll have to get him
Often, so I
on.
don't
We'll have to get him back on the next show so we can break it down. For him.
Yeah, I would love to hear it. Would
Tell
love
him to
hear
take a lot of pictures, a lot of videos.
Yes.
Tell him that we told Scotty and Horace hi.
Yeah.
They are me and Dave's best friends from that one night we hung out with them.
Yes, he nicknamed me.
Flex.
Yeah.
He did nickname me. Shout out to him. Good news, what he told me.
Flex.
That's true. He gave Big Dave Cliff Levingston's old nickname.
He did. I'll show you some pictures, Will.
Please do. That's a flex too.
You know who's probably never gotten to hang out with Scotty and Horace before? Onuralp Bitim. I don't know. Maybe he has. I don't know. Anyway, the Bulls signed him to a standard multi-year deal earlier today. Sources tell The Athletic and Shams Charania. Bitim has averaged 14 points, 43% shooting from three for the Windy City Bulls this season. So with that, the Bulls now are at a full 15-man roster for the remainder of the season, which means not adding anybody on the buyout market. Thoughts, Dave? After we got such a great glimpse of his potential playing mop-up minutes at the end of their blowout loss to the Celtics last night, the Bulls said, we clearly need to give this guy a real contract.
0-2 and getting your shot blocked, sign his ass up. I mean, I wanted to see him play. I just didn't understand why we couldn't see him play. So it's all weird to me. Like, it's like you signing a guy you weren't playing to a contract. And I don't know if he's going to play. I still don't know if he's going to get in there. Even with guys injured and your need at the three-point shot, Billy Donovan still was like, nah, we're good, you know? So I don't know. We'll see. He'll get an opportunity in garbage time. It looks like he might get an opportunity before garbage time. We'll see. But there's a need for his skill set. I don't know what kind of greatness or goodness he has in him. He was solid in the G League after he started off pretty slow, but he kind of found his footing a little later on in the G League. Was averaging like 14 a game or something like that.
Yep.
Shot solidly from the three-point line. He had one game where he just went crazy from the three-point line in the G League. So they need that stuff. You need a shooter. You need a guy with size. You need a guy who can create. And you need a guy that can rub Joey the wrong way for when he actually succeeds. And people go crazy on our guy, Young Spathis, for when he actually starts hitting shots. He can do all those things. I'm excited to watch it. I cannot wait to him to hit his first bucket. Joey's mentions will be in shambles.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I've watched a ton of Bitim film or very many Windy City games this year. So I'm going to stick to like the cap side of this because I think that's kind of the interesting piece. So the Bulls had 14 roster spots out of 15. They were $1.7 million below the luxury tax, meaning they had $1.7 million before they could get to the luxury tax for somebody to sign as a free agent on the buyout market. Obviously, that did not happen. Instead, they promote Bitim to a regular multi-year contract. We don't know what the details of that are yet, but that effectively takes them off of the buyout market. Mm-hmm. And so I think we can say, and this is kind of just my assumption here, is that they were after Gallinari. Mm-hmm. They were waiting to see what would happen with Evan Fournier, and neither of those things materialized, so they went internal and promoted Bitim. To me, the weird part about this is that they could have just been playing Bitim on the two-way contract this whole time. They could be playing him. I think you get 50 games as a two-way player.
Yeah,
so they could have been. Yeah,
like from the original rules, they added more games. Yeah,
they could have just been playing him on the two-way contract for the rest of this year, and then gone into a multi-year contract after that, and still had money to buy somebody, to bring in somebody on the buyout market. So, little strange here that, I mean, look, we just talked to DeMar a couple days ago, and he was like, you walk through the layup lines at the start of games, and you feel kind of thin right now. They've got Torrey Craig out. They've got Patrick Williams out. They've got Lonzo Ball out. Yeah. They've got Zach LaVine out. They've got Terry Taylor, who never plays. That's 5 out of 10 guys on the roster who are just not going to be in the rotation on a nightly basis. And it's great that they now bring in another body, but they could have brought in 2. Yeah. They could have been playing him all along. They could have brought somebody else in. I think they felt like they got him on a multi-year deal, and that's kind of why they wanted to go this direction. So I get it from that perspective, but it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. Not to say that any of these guys on the buyout market are really changing your fortunes.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're really going to find somebody who long-term could be an interesting piece.
But you need bodies.
From a health perspective, you need bodies. I mean, Kobe and DeMar leading the league in minutes. Io played 41 last night. They just need guys. And they've had the opportunity and option to play the team all season long, and they haven't done it. So it's a little strange for me from that perspective. A lot of people were in my mentions saying this was like a financially motivated thing. I think that's true to a certain extent. So the way that it works is over the course of a year, the vet minimum, I think for 10-year vets is like $2.8 million. For 1-year vets, it's like $1 million. And so you prorate that over the remaining days of the season. The amount that you have to pay the team on a prorated vet minimum is going to be less than what it would have been for a Joe Harris or for a Gallinari. So you save some money, but the Bulls were far enough under the luxury tax to where they could have brought in somebody on a prorated veterans minimum. And also, I mean, these two-way deals are not counting against the NBA salary cap sheet. So they could have kept playing him and brought in somebody else, get 2 bodies. I think it's a good thing that they're going to try to start, hopefully, developing some of the younger guys by giving them more minutes. But again, just from like a pure bodies and health standpoint, it felt like a kind of a missed opportunity. But I think they probably felt like they just didn't really have any good options out there in the buyout market. And so you start to look within and promote guys.
Fish in the comments asking, do we really sign someone to a contract that we already had under contract? Is that a front office fake and sidestep? Rob asking, will he play any minutes? I don't see why he hasn't previously when they've needed 3-point shooting all year. A fair question. I think the real question is, like, did they need to do this? Because they could have just been playing him as a two-way player, contract player who was available and still had plenty of availability left. They didn't need to do this if they wanted to actually start playing him. Yeah. And this is coming on the heels of a night where he played for just the second time with the big boy Bulls all season. Big boy. He's had a grand total of 5 minutes and 44 seconds of playing time this season. Yeah. Between those 2 games, the first one back in early November. The need for 3-point shooting is, I think, a fair question. A lot of Bulls fans have been wondering about Bitim. Say, hey, this guy knocks down 43%. Like, the Bulls just lost the 3-point battle to the Celtics by 39 last night.
A cajillion.
Where's he been? I have often just held to the belief that if there's a reason a guy's not playing that Bulls fans can't see because he's not playing, and are you going to watch Windy City all night? Also, if you are, that's G League basketball.
Yes.
It's not NBA basketball.
No.
Usually when a guy's not playing, there's a reason the guy's not playing.
Yeah.
Now you are in a point where you are so desperate maybe we will see him play. And to me, it's fine. Like we were saying this on post game last night. Like I don't give a crap about these buyout candidates because they're probably not going to change the Bulls' season in the last 25 games. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll play some minutes on their way to the Bulls bowing out of the play-in tournament again. Whoop-de-doo. Let's see who this Bitim guy is. Mm-hmm. Give him some minutes. If you're this strapped for available healthy players, why not?
Yeah, give him opportunity to play for sure. I am with Will on this as far as bodies are concerned. You need as many bodies as you could possibly get. Like even on that buyout market, it wasn't about getting the player that can lead them to the NBA championship on the buyout market. Mm-hmm. It was more so about just a player because you're down so many bodies, and Alex Caruso is your 4. And you're gonna need help, and you just need size. Yeah, laugh at that for a second. Like you're gonna need size, and you're gonna need help at any point in that. But team can't play that position either. He's not a 4. You might cheat with him there or something. I have no idea about his defense. I have no idea about his IQ. In the game, we'll find that out. Those kind of things. We just know about his scoring, and him shooting the basketball. And everybody loves the new guy. They want to see the new guy get the opportunity to play. But, yeah, as many bodies as the Bulls, can get, they should have been trying to get. They did not do that. And now they're just stuck with the one body here. And it's, again, he still has a skill set that the Bulls need. But I'm not 100% with you, Matt, but I'm kind of with you on, well, if you're not playing, there might be a reason why you're not playing. Like I'm not 100% with that because maybe it could. I've seen it not work that way a bunch of times, but I've seen it work that way more often than not.
Yeah. Of
why you're not playing. Well, it's a reason you're not. And the first thing that popped in my head when you said that was Bitim making a move to cut to the basket to go for a layup and then getting swatted. That was the first thing I thought of when you said that. Like, yeah, that could be the reason right there. So yeah, but we're gonna find out. Like, I think that's the thing. You're going to find out. And injuries are, I think they're not over, for the Bulls.
They'll never be over.
Yeah, like they got players who get injured pretty often, and then you're dealing with guys who play a position of need, and you don't have those guys there, and 2 of them, in Patrick Williams and Torrey Craig. So Billy, I mean, we're gonna see him, try to spin some magic out of here, or put some whipped cream on a turd, as our guy who likes to say. So we're gonna see what he can do with that, man. But yeah, you should get the most players that you could possibly get to help your team. The fact that they didn't do that is ridiculous.
It's just incongruent with what their whole ethos has been.
Ooh,
they're saying we believe in what we have, we want to be competitive, and so, but then they don't add.
Yes,
I would have disagreed with trading assets for players that could help you now at the trade deadline, but that would have made more sense with what AK said about his team than doing nothing. And it's the same thing with the buyout market. You look at how they managed it last year. They bring in Patrick Beverley. They go 14-9, and that's something that they really take pride in and have harkened back to now multiple times in what few availabilities we've seen from AK. So it doesn't add up.
And I think last year's case was very specific in that Pat Bev and the Bulls found each other, and AK loves to brag about that 14-9 record. Look, there were plenty of teams around the league who were like, yeah, Pat Bev might be able to help, but to how much, will he help us win playoff games versus the headache of trying to welcome Pat Bev into your team and your system midseason?
Right.
The Bulls, knowing Pat Bev maybe was looking around and didn't have a lot of offers that he loved as far as finding a third of a season loaner of a team to join into for a playoff run, knew, hey, if Pat Bev's not getting a bunch of offers, he probably wouldn't say no to coming and being a Chicago Bull for a part of a season, fulfill his lifelong dream of putting on a Bulls jersey.
It's a good dream.
So that was sort of like an arranged marriage between the Bulls, a team that looked like he was heading nowhere in the play-in tournament or playoffs, and a player who is one of the most famously from Chicago NBA guys who didn't probably have a lot of great options as a buyout candidate player. Mm-hmm. Arranged marriage, great. I don't think this year there were a lot of buyout candidates looking the Bulls' direction because why would they?
I think
why would they?
I think you're absolutely right. This is going to sound harsh, but like, because AK has now brought up a couple times, like when we made the moves for Vooch and Tamar, we wanted to signal to the league that we were serious about being a real team and competing.
Sure.
And it just doesn't seem like, I mean, I think we've all kind of come to this conclusion a while ago, but like, it seems like the rest of the league is catching up.
Yeah.
Everybody on the around the league does not understand why the Bulls didn't trade Caruso or trade Drummond or sign Baucas. It's like, I just don't think that these moves from 3 years ago are really like signaling anything to the rest of the league about this team being serious. And now without Zach, like think about Zach, whatever it is that you want, but like players around the league still respect him because he's really talented at scoring. They don't have him this year. DeMar's an expiring contract. You've obviously got Vooch. Kobe's playing a lot better, and that's great. But like, I don't think anybody around the league looks at this team as somebody that can make noise in the play-in or the playoffs.
Yeah.
Compared to maybe last year when you had all three of those guys, and Zach was looking like an all-star, and DeMar was still at that same level that I think he's come down from a little bit, to where, you know, Patrick Beverley felt like they were one Patrick Beverley away from having a playoff run.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that the rest of the league takes them as seriously as maybe they think they should be taken seriously, if that's the way to put it.
And that's a scary thing right there, what you said, because you're right. When they did that, they were putting the league on notice. But as you know, you're only as good as your last one. So if you haven't done anything, you can't keep telling me about what you did in the past. You know, Andre 3000 has a lyric in Rosa Parks where he says, baby boy, you only funky as your last cut. You focus on the past, your ass will be a has-butt. Like, that's exactly, you can't sit there and focus on what you did. You know what I mean? You have to, it's about what you can do now.
Right.
You've absolutely done nothing now. We understand what you did and the moves you made, but you're doing nothing now. And you can't live on that shit. You can't live on that past, bro. You won't eat. You'll starve. You'll die.
And
it's just a simple.
The Bulls are the definition of a rest on our laurels franchise.
Exactly where I was heading, because you can zoom out and make that case about this entire franchise since the year 1999.
But wasn't the Ring of Honor night fun? Wasn't that fun, guys?
Some 6 titles.
Wasn't that so fun? Get bent.
Get bent.
1999 special year for me.
That was before Joey's time.
Shout out.
No, that was my time.
I mean, there are literally
1999.
No, I'm talking about the saying he just said.
Oh, get bent.
Yeah.
Oh, familiar.
It's before you, bro.
Onuralp Bitim was born after the Bulls' last championship.
That's when all the cool people were born, right? Broom said in the comments, give Marco the open 2-8. Do you mean Simonovic? Is that the Marco you're talking about?
Man, I heard that name in a minute.
Guys, no, it's fine, though, because we got Archie, who can also give us some minutes at power forward now.
Oh.
That was the other big news of the day. I think it was first broken by Michael Scotto. The Bulls got Archie back after he got cut by the Knicks.
Great.
He is now a Windy City Bull.
Wonderful.
So much competitiveness is going to happen in that play-in game, you guys.
Oh, diving on
we
the
got
floor.
Archie. Oh, my gosh.
He's on the floor, man.
Yo.
This feels like a setup for his career when he retires, is what it feels like.
This is Archie's farewell tour.
It feels like a setup. Like, he's not going anywhere. He's going to remain on the staff of the G League squad or something.
This is something that Mark kind of mentioned in our last show and has been saying on Twitter, and I just really want to reiterate that I agree with it. It's like the players are doing their job. Billy is doing the best he can with what he has. Kobe and DeMar and Ayo and Drummond and Vooch, these guys come out every night and they do what they can with their role, with their team around them, and it just feels like the front office is like kind of leaving them out to dry a little bit. And I think that like a lot of times, you know, people in the comments we hear sitting on set like will criticize the players after a game because they're the ones that were out there. But again, it's
Most
just
people are criticizing the coach.
Sure, but like I think that misses the point. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
It's like I think
and when it comes to misplaced blame among Bulls fans right now, I think there's more misplaced blame on Billy than on players.
Absolutely.
I think most Bulls fans always believe in whatever you are, whether you're a grizzled, like has kind of washed all-star vet like DeMar, or a young up-and-comer like Kobe, or an even younger wannabe up-and-comer like Dalen or Julian. Bulls fans are always rooting for the players.
Except for when DeMar takes the last shot and not Kobe, or Vooch misses his 6-3. I mean,
right.
It does happen.
Or if your name is Zach LaVine.
Or if your name is Zach. Yeah, sure.
Goal.
But I think Mark made a really good point that we have to distinguish between those two,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's worth. reiterating.
I do too. I think it's worth pointing that out. Okay, last thing, and then we got to take our first break. Sure. I did notice this in Casey's brief little write up about, hey, the Bulls like promoted Onuralp Bitim today. He made note of the fact that it could also come into play, and you kind of touched on, the cap implications of this, Will, but the fact that if it is in fact a multi-year deal that they signed him to, a lot of it could be backloaded, non-guaranteed, with non-guarantee waive dates well into the future, while still keeping Bitim as a usable trade piece this offseason as far as matching salaries goes.
I mean, in order to make a trade, the Bulls would have to make a trade. So
that is true. They would have to make a trade if they wanted to make a trade.
The first thing that came to mind was Carly Jones. This happened last year, and I think a very similar fashion where he won G League MVP. They promoted him, and they gave him a fully non-guaranteed deal for the next year and ended up cutting him. So I could see that being the case. Maybe they cut him and they re-sign him on another two-way, or they bring him back. Maybe they keep him. But again, this is why even a Drummond for 1 or 2 second-round picks trade would have made sense, because when you have, and I was just listening to Dunked On podcast, and they were talking about the worst contracts in the league.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Zach's was number 2 on their list. Vooch was number 4 or 5 on their list. Lonzo was an honorable mention. When you've got contracts like that, you need to, as great and as much credit as AK deserves for Kobe and Ayo's contract, and he deserves credit for those.
Yes, he does.
They are offset in a big way by the other contracts on this roster.
Offset.
and bringing in a couple of second-round picks that can be signed at less than the veterans minimum over a multi-year, like Julian Phillips' contract is $1.6 million. That is a really good deal that would have helped the Bulls kind of offset some of these bigger deals that are hamstringing them in a lot of other ways.
We got some news here. Shams Charania, Bulls say Patrick Williams will undergo season-ending foot surgery.
Wow.
There it is. Called it.
Wow. Wow, bro. Okay.
When it rains, it pours.
Season-ending surgery for Patrick Williams. I don't think anybody is shocked by that. That still sucks. We have to take our first break. Hang with us. Hit the like button while we throw some ads your way. We'll come back and flex. Instead of talking about play and tournament seeding, let's talk about Patrick Williams. We will do that coming up after the break. Make sure you also hit that subscribe button so you get alerts every time we go live on CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Big Dave, what's up?
You know what? Just right after that news.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
Coors Light crack a clock.
You know, and
tough one.
you see the cup right there, the Coors Light cup. You see the Blue Mountain right
Blue
there?
is the Rockies.
Toss
or
that
Patrick
on in.
Williams' bruised foot.
Oh, let me toss that on in there, because I know whatever's about to happen is going to make me happy. And now look at that mountain. Dark blue, letting you know it's frosty and ready for you. Coors Light. This is perfect to read right here. Whether it's your team stressing you out.
Hey, it us. Hello.
Or life in general. Things can feel chaotic. That's why Coors Light helps you find moments to chill all year long. Thank you, Coors Light, for providing me these moments right here. Because when we come back from this segment, we're going to dive into something very sad. Something expected, but very sad.
Yeesh.
But having this right here next to me, knowing what's in my cup, knowing what's going to happen as soon as I take this old sip, knowing I can relax and listen to the GOAT, listen to Matt Peck, and watch Joey Spathers do their things, it's just going to make me happy. So thank you, Coors Light, for making my moments more chill and more happy. And you can have those same moments too, ladies and gentlemen. You don't just have to be sitting here in the studio, even though it would be awesome if you could. You could be sitting at home. You can enjoy your Coors Light and find your chill that way. It's many, many ways to find it. Barbecue, at a game. You could do it after work. Hey, you could do it before work, depending on what time you're going. You can do it, ladies and gentlemen, but as long as you find your chill, that's all Coors Light cares about. But as long as you're doing it responsibly. And of course, like I just showed you, when those mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. So when it's time to chills, just open that Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. And they don't mean the baseball team because this beer is actually good. Hey-o, that's a shot.
Hey-o.
Hey, y'all. When it is time to chill, Coors Light is the only beer that I'm going to reach for. And you should too. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart. You heard me. Instacart yourself some Coors Light. And you can do it by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball. That's CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Because it's Coors Light. Find your chill.
Find your chill, Patrick Williams. Take a load off. CHGO Bulls Pod today also brought to you all by our friends at Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Whole continent. That's right. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, some of whom are like weirdos with nerdy spreadsheets when it comes to DFS, it's like, no, I just want to play and have some fun and maybe win. It's just you against the numbers with Prize Picks. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 different player stat projections and then watch the winnings roll in. It's a lot of fun. You can win up to 25x that initial investment this basketball season when you play those 2 to 6 player stat projections. Just select 2 or more, pick more or less on their projected stats, place the entry. It's that simple. You can also do it spanning different sports if you want to. So let's say like this Sunday, for example, the Bulls play this Sunday.
Yes.
The Blackhawks also played this Sunday.
Yes.
Big game. CHGO Hawks crew doing a takeover. Big night. Maybe you want to do a little stat projections on like how many hat tricks Connor Bedard's going to have. And then also like, hey, is Vooch going to have a 20-10 game by halftime and then do nothing? Whatever it is that you think is going to happen, you can make a bet on it with Prize Picks. They even offer a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For NBA games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second half, that player is rebooted. Is Prize Picks the only DFS platform with an injury insurance policy? Go to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
Easy.
Okay, welcome in. If you were just joining us now as we were on our ad break, we were not planning to talk about Patrick Williams on today's show, but breaking news is breaking news. The Bulls announced via press release just moments ago that Patrick Williams, who has been dealing with that left bone edema in his left foot, will be done now. Yeah. Dunsies. The update, and we discussed about it in pregame a little bit last night, Dave. Mm-hmm. The update we got from Billy Donovan did not sound promising.
No.
It did not sound promising. Here's the official statement from the Bulls. Chicago Bulls forward Patrick Williams, who's been sidelined since January 25th with initial bone edema in his left foot, recently, it's already happened, underwent routine subsequent imaging revealing the progression of his foot stress reaction. Ugh. Williams will undergo surgery and be out for the remainder of the season. Updates will be provided as appropriate.
I mean, you're right. We talked about it on the pregame, and we both were saying the same thing. Like, we expected this. We expected this to be.
We were just saying in our first segment, the injury news is always going to be bad.
It's always the same.
It's always going to be there.
Because it was the same like the same kind of talk we always hear when these kind of things come up. It was the same thing they were saying over and over again. You hear the 2 to 4 weeks. You hear the setback. You hear the ramping up. You hear, like, it was the same kind of talk.
Trigger warning.
You know what I mean? It was like, nope, he's out. It was like, he's done for the year. You're not going to fool us again. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice.
Can't fool me again.
Fool me, but you can't get fooled again.
Mission accomplished.
Now, that's a saying in Texas. Sorry to Tennessee, but maybe.
God.
But, dude, I just felt it was coming, Will. Like, nothing I heard and nothing I saw about it just led me to believe that this was going to get better. And the reason I truly felt that way is because it was right after an All-Star break, when you've had a week off, when you've had time and all those things, and you're still like telling me, well, he can't even really run without some pain. Oh, we're done. I was like, okay, there's nothing else you can do. We're finished here.
Absolutely. I mean, this is I mean, worst case scenario for the Bulls now, a second player done for the season with a season-ending surgery.
Sign the team.
The Bonadima thing is like so vague, and I think a lot of people are really unsure about like how long this thing typically takes to heal. But like, I don't know, I've read like 3 to 9 months if not treated properly. So it always felt like it was going to be a long shot for him to be able to get back. This is going to have huge implications for his restricted free agency this summer and how the Bulls manage that and what other teams are going to be interested. But just for the time being, I mean, another body down now. We know he's not going to be back. The power forward room that was already very thin continues to get thinner. And you just feel bad for Patrick. I mean, he like kind of joke about what AK said at the press conference that he was like on a tear in December, averaging 14 points per game. But like he really was playing well.
He was,
and he looked confident. He looked comfortable. They gave him, I think, 2 to 3 weeks to reevaluate him right before the deadline. And you mentioned it, like when you come out of that deadline, and not to say that there was setbacks, but like the fact that there was some pain running just made you feel like even if there wasn't going to be a surgery, that this was going to take a long time to resolve itself. And obviously they went the surgery route, so we'll see how long the prognosis is. But man, it just this season, and you just know it's going to be, well, we were doing well before the injuries.
Oh my God. He used that excuse on his trade deadline Zoom press conference with you guys. He said, I don't like to use injuries as an excuse, but
I'm gonna.
You look around the league, the teams that are all performing well have been largely healthy, and we aren't. Oh, is that why DeMar and Kobe are leading the NBA in minutes played this season? You jag-off?
Jagaloon.
I don't like to use this excuse, but here's this excuse. Also, this excuse is bullshit. Shut up! God, I'm so sick of all this crap.
You know you got hats next to you. Right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Charlie the Bigger Guy! Oh, God, I hate this. I hate all of this. People in the comments, Geo saying another one bites the dust. Sports Style Chicago in a contract year. Damn, not getting that 20 mil annually now. John Mayer saying, I just know internally they knew this was likely to happen, and they still didn't make any moves.
Exactly.
I mean, this is very similar to the timing and cadence of the announcement last year that Lonzo was not going to be back.
Correct.
Like right after the deadline, after the buyout market, now you find out that these guys aren't coming back. It's just
the same, man.
Really
I've seen the movie.
Geo asking in the comments how many disabled player exceptions we have now. Just the one. Still just the one.
Just the one.
Cool, though. It doesn't matter because they're not going to use it.
Well, they can't now.
Everything's over now.
That's true. Wow.
It's over now.
Daryl Ashwood saying finding out Pat is done for the year live as well. Yeah, that was a real humdinger of a curveball we just got on what thought was going to be a cool, calm Friday afternoon in Bulls world. Nope. Scott LaRock in the comments said at least they get a bulk discount on surgeries.
Oh man.
Costco
we are
brand.
living in a dark humor timeline as Bulls fans.
Give it all to us, Bulls fans. Let it out. That's what we're here for.
Bobby asking, can we take care of Kobe now? No need to push him for so many minutes. Au contraire.
Let him play.
They need Kobe to play 44 minutes a night
Let him play.
if they want to get to that elusive playing tournament.
Or not, let him play. He's got to play, dog. He's got to get out there and play. He's got to play. Now the young guys got to get in there and play.
I will say this. You mentioned it. Like, this is opportunity for Dalen Terry, for Julian Phillips, guys that, for Bitim even, who the Bulls just brought in. Like, these guys are going to get some minutes now because they have to.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of, in some ways, like what you're hoping for in terms of player development. Like, we spent 2 years ago talking about how they couldn't really afford to give Patrick a bigger role because they're trying to win games now. Now it's like you're trying to win games, but you're also need to play these guys.
Right.
You need to have those bodies out there. And so
You have no choice.
this is going to be real reps, real experience for guys like Julian Phillips, who played well last night, Dalen Terry. And I think that's going to be really good for them longer term in terms of their progress and development.
Yeah, because honestly, I thought those two guys played pretty solid yesterday. Both Julian had 9 points, I assume, like that. And then Dalen just putting up those Dalen numbers across the board, but playing really good defense out there. But now they don't have to worry about being taken out. Honestly, like now they're like, no, we're playing. You're in the game. You're going to play, and you're going to get an opportunity to play. Terry Taylor, is going to get an opportunity to play. Bitim, as we mentioned, is going to get an opportunity to play. These guys are going to be out there, man, and God bless them all.
It does really just feel like, though, like I remember a couple years ago when it was like Lonzo went down surgery, and then like 2 days later, Caruso had the surgery. It's just like,
yeah, and what sucks about Patrick, like this is the second like long injury he's had in his very short career. You know, like just getting that wrist injury after we saw him having like a solid game against the Knicks, then tears up his wrist. And then now in this, where like you mentioned, had a solid December month where he looked comfortable and was coming around a little bit. Then he hurts his foot, man. Like 2 major injuries for this guy who is not even 25 yet. Like I feel sad for him, bro. Like in a contract year, the year that you're gonna make this money, where teams are gonna come after you and see if the Bulls want you and all those other things. Now that's going to be lessened, like that's going to be a little lower. We'll see what kind of money he walks away with. I'm very interested in that too.
Yeah, there were a couple questions in the comments. I'll see if I can find them. One was, what does this do for our roster, from John Mayer? Does this give us another roster spot? No, this does not open up another roster spot.
Nope.
The Bulls could apply in theory for disabled player exceptions for Zach LaVine and now Patrick Williams, the way that they did for Lonzo. They would be probably granted, but that money, if you were to use it to go out and sign another player, would, 1, count towards roster spots, which the Bulls now do not have, and 2, it would count towards the luxury tax, which we know they're not gonna cross. So
they're not gonna do it.
This is just another guy down. Basically 3.5 players now, depending on what happens with Torrey Craig, that are just not gonna be playing for the Bulls this year.
Oh, super duper.
And there was another one from Stanislavko.
Oh, asking about how it affects the free agency of Pat?
Yeah.
I was going to say we should address that.
That's going to be so tricky, and you really feel for Patrick here because he was playing well. Obviously, he tried to bet on himself last summer by not signing whatever extension he and the Bulls were negotiating. I could see the qualifying offer, him just playing on that for 1 year to try to, prove it and see what he can get. That's about $12.9 million if the Bulls extend it. So he could play on that. That would make him an unrestricted free agent the following year. But I could also see him signing a shorter term deal the way Kobe did. I mean, the Bulls could have signed Kobe to a 5-year deal. They only got him for 3 because the number was so much lower than what we thought. So good piece of business on the dollars, but obviously now years wise for Kobe, they're not going to probably be able to extend him because he's going to be worth more than what he's allowed to be extended, which is 140% of what he's making. And so maybe Patrick does a similar thing where he signs like a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal around Kobe's number, tries to play well over the next couple of years, and then get back on the market by age 25.
I think that would make most Bulls fans happier. For, like the portion of Bulls fans who have not fully given up on Patrick Williams' potential already, and I know that those Bulls fans also exist. There are plenty of them. But the ones who still aren't quite sure that Patrick Williams is a waste of space, not worth keeping around. When you remind yourself recently how they have been missing his ability to guard size on the defensive end and missing his 40% 3-point shooting on the offensive end. Those are real things that Pat does. Even if he is not flashy about any of it, he is a useful player and they are hurting without him. But a short-term deal, like a 2-year, let's figure out what's going on here. Is he going to get healthy? What does he look like? I think that would put a lot of Bulls fans' minds at ease, as opposed to the ones who were trying to contemplate mentally swallowing the idea of giving Patrick Williams a 4 or 5 year deal upwards of $100 million. And we're like, but wait, how in what world has he earned that? And there is some semblance of like, that's just sort of like what mid-tier quality starter but not star players in the NBA get now.
Exactly.
That's what their salaries are. It still wasn't registering well, I think, with a lot of Bulls fans, even if they were not already on the left Patrick Williams Island, part of the fan base. And
to be fair, I mean, you look at some of these other big contracts that the Bulls have signed, like it's really hamstringing them. Like I mentioned earlier, like Nate Duncan had Vooch and Zach LaVine as 2 of the top 5 worst contracts in the league.
They did an episode about the worst contracts in the NBA, and they could have instead just said, hey, here's the Bulls cap sheet.
They basically did. And Lonzo's up there too, where he's just not, I mean, Lonzo next year, if they can't wipe him, is still an expiring contract. Insurance is paying that money basically, so it's not that big of a deal for the Bulls. But Zach's 3 more years after this season. Vooch has 2 more years after this season. Mm-hmm. It's just tough. And when you think about signing these other guys, yeah, maybe a player like Patrick is worth that in a vacuum to some teams, maybe not. But I don't blame Bulls fans for being wary of that because of what it means for filling out the rest of your books. And so, you have to weigh, like, do you pay him maybe what he's worth or a little bit more to keep a guy who's homegrown, who's 22 or whatever his age is at this point? Mm-hmm. Is he still 19? I'm not sure. But he's a really valuable archetype of a player that has not necessarily provided production, that's in line with what a $20-25 million contract looks like. He's certainly not going to get that now. And so I do think you're put in a position where you're giving him lower dollars, lower years. And, there's risk with that too, because now maybe you can't re-sign him after that if he does really pop. So it's just a tough situation. And obviously that's all beyond this year. This year, mm-hmm. I mean, you've got 8 guys basically that are giving you minutes at this point.
That's it. And 3 of them that you like feel good about, I would say. You know what I mean? Like maybe 4, but.
And again, it's like, it goes back to this idea that whether or not they knew this was going to happen, probably not if we give them the benefit of the doubt. But you've got Lonzo, Zach is going to be out.
Punch him in the face with
and you still don't make any moves because even though like this is what your ceiling is when fully healthy, it's even lower when you're not fully healthy.
Correct.
And you have an opportunity to make trades that not only bring in maybe future-oriented players that can help you longer term, but maybe you bring in a 2-for-1 and you get bodies in here who can actually help you now. And it feels really short-sighted. And I think it's kind of just like spiraling into the worst case of what we thought it might be.
Yeah.
But that's still the reality of it. And now they've got to face it.
Yeah. Like you said, even getting those players or even getting capital to help your team going into the draft next year or even beyond that. Like you passed on all of it. You just said, nah, we're good on all of that to go in on this when you still could have went in on this and still had that.
And you also have to wonder, like, now does this change DeMar's mind at all? I mean, you're looking at a team who is really going to be struggling to get not only into and through the play-in tournament now, but I mean, their rotation right now is DeMar, Kobe, Vooch, Drummond, Caruso, Ayo. Mm-hmm. That's like those are the 6 you feel good about. And then you've got Javon, you've got Dalen, you've got Julian, you've got Bitim, and you've got Terry Taylor. I don't know how far that lineup's taking you.
Not far.
But if you get past this season and it's another struggle in or through the playoffs or through the play-in, and then you face the Celtics in the first round, I don't know. I mean, I think the Bulls probably have a number in mind where that's like their match price for DeMar, and anything else they're going to have to walk. But I said this before, like, it's probably going to take the Bulls overpaying the market to keep DeMar.
Yes.
Because, he might prefer to play in LA for the mid-level exception compared to the Bulls for $20 million. So maybe you have to give him 25 in order to keep him.
Yeah.
And then what does that do? And then what does that do to your longer-term books and your longer-term planning? So it feels like it's all kind of coming to a head here.
Oh my God. We have to take our second break, but Stanislavko with a funny joke saying, out of curiosity, did someone let Jeff Tanaka back in the team building this season? Ghosthead83 saying, but remember, guys, we signed a G League player who's played 6 NBA games to a multi-year deal. Problem solved. Actually, he's played 6 NBA minutes.
That's right, sir.
In 2 NBA games.
How dare you?
But yes, problem solved. Also, the timing of all of the various announcements the Bulls made today. One of which was like the Bulls didn't even make an announcement. It was just an NBA reporter who was like, oh, yeah, the Bulls brought Archie back and put him on their G League team.
Right.
Bulls didn't even issue anything about that.
No.
Hey, all right, here's Onuralp Bitim. We promoted him to a big boy contract. Cool. ... Later that day. Oh, by the way, Patrick Williams is having season-ending surgery. Surprise! Also, shout out to Mesley Nope on Twitter who pointed out the fact the Bulls announced this during the first Cubs versus White Sox spring training game. I'm just a snarky, cynical, doubting, skeptical asshole.
Oh, come on with it. What do you think? I don't know.
But whenever it comes to Bulls PR and how they make announcements and how this team operates, when they're giving this fan base news we don't want to hear, it is not a coincidence that this news dropped while Cubs and Sox are playing each other. I firmly believe that because Come on. Surprise!
CHGO White Sox will be on soon also in the building. Shout out to them. Make sure you tune in
Herb
to
and
that
Sean
wonderful
over there.
show right there.
Taking in the
They
action.
shall be ready doing their thing. Always prepared. Always awesome.
Oh, it's so predictable. It's so predictably bad. So predictably bad. We've got to take a break. Okay, we'll come back and wrap up. We'll get more of y'all's thoughts out there. I feel we'll just take this Patrick stuff and talk it the rest of the way through the
Walk it like you talking.
episode. Big Dave, tell the fine people out there who might be looking for a vehicle about the deals at Ray Chevy.
I was about to say something. No, I can't. I can't. Ray! Ray! Help me, Ray. I'm sad. I need a car. Let me buy one from you. Well, Ray said, come on through. Because that Ray Chevrolet is sharing their best offers all month long with their auto show sales event. Make your way to Ray Chevrolet on Route 12. I like saying Route. Route 12 in Fox Lake to join in on the savings. As one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Plus, you can find the perfect tailgate vehicle at Ray Chevy because they're offering, listen up, 0% financing for 72 months on new Silverados, and they got over 100 available ready to go. Ray don't be playing around, man. He always about the deals, and he's always stocked up, ready to help you out. That's how he rolls, baby. And to top it off, they're pricing over 125 vehicles under $20,000. Seriously, y'all, seriously. Can it get more affordable? I'm going to answer that for you. It cannot. No, it can't. But it can get better because I know everybody out there like free. It's one of my favorite words. And Joey, what I always tell you about free?
Tastes better.
That's it. And that's what you will get this month at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. Free oil change. And all you need to do is mention CHGO when you're scheduling that oil change to start your new year off right and schedule it by the 29th. That rhyme, by the way. Shout out to me. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Find new roads and let those roads lead you right on to Ray Chevy.
Woo!
Ray Chevrolet.
Today's CHGO Bulls also brought to you by Empire Today.
Shout out.
With Empire, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. We know this. You know this.
You know.
So, of course, they have copycats.
Jerks.
Totally. But those copycats can't beat Empire on quality, on service, or speed. So all competitors can try to do is advertise low-quality products at basement prices to say, hey, check out these awesome prices. But it's just basement prices for crap flooring. That's all it is. Empire won't even bother to carry those options in their inventory. Empire won't promise the lowest prices around because anyone who's doing that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs because they know it's crap. Empire's philosophy is simple. Help you find what you need, not overwhelm you with thousands of unnecessary choices and low-quality substitutes.
Sounds awesome.
They also have a great feature they call the Virtual Floor Designer, a great way to see how different flooring options would look in any space in your home. Just snap some pics and swipe left and right on different flooring options so you can see how it would look with your lighting, overhead lighting, lamps, fixtures, art decor in your various rooms in your house, all of that stuff. They also service their own warranties. If an issue does happen to arise, just call Empire. They will send their team to come take care of it. No tracking down third-party manufacturers.
Nope.
Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details. 588-2300. Joe!
Empire.
Oh.
Today. Yeah, that's the Empire you get minutes after a back-breaking injury update from Bulls.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bulls.
You made Joey not have all the strumph and enthusiasm in his Empire songs. We should have asked Troll Joey. Troll Joey would have did it.
Oh, well.
You got to ask. You got to dip into the bag. You got to dip into the bag, baby. Troll Joey.
Troll Joey, I feel like Troll Joey needed a bit more of a moment.
He needed a moment?
He's a troll. So, his day-to-day is shittier than us humans. just being a troll and living with that life.
But he takes so many tolls.
That's oh, thank goodness for laughter, because I am just about fed up.
And this thing called matrimony.
Gio asks, you guys think Kendall and Stacy could lace him up one last time for 25 or something games?
You pay KG, he will definitely lace him up.
Stacy can give him 6 fouls.
Yes, Stacy got 6 fouls.
Kendall could like legit give them 10 minutes off the bench.
Well, yeah, he'll get you. I think he'll get you like 6 points. I think Kendall Gill get you maybe 6 to 8 points. I think he would.
That dude still boxes to stay in shape.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't box competitively anymore.
No,
but he did.
Just to
after retiring from a very long NBA career.
Remember when he asked us to come running
whoop
with
my
him?
ass.
Remember he was like, "Hey, come running with me."
Oh,
and we were like, "What? What are you talking about?" Nah, man, just come running on this track right here. I was like, "Kendall, we have to get in shape to come work out."
Yeah, no,
that's not how this works.
If I tried to go through one of Kendall's workouts, like just now, after having years of not working out at all, I would die. I would drop dead 10 minutes into Kendall's workout.
That's your lung on the ground right there. It just fell out. You might want to pull that in.
That's where my lung lives now.
That's where it is.
In that dirty patch by the side of the road.
I knew that guy. He's a heck of a guy.
Wow. EB Suede in the comments saying P. Will is a bust. Winky cry saying I have full support group on speed dial. Big P. Will. We got Big P. Will in the chat.
Oh, Big P. Will.
Saying I feel like P. Will was bullied into surgery so the Bulls could bring him back for cheap. He would have played through it. Wow.
Oh boy.
There's a take.
Oh man, you never cease to.
So this season we've had Bulls fans' takes on injuries being Zach LaVine faked his way into needing surgery
so that he wouldn't get traded.
So that he wouldn't get traded to the Pistons. And P. Will woulda, coulda, shoulda played through this bone injury in his foot that sounds confusing and scary. But the Bulls pressured him into getting surgery so that they could negotiate him to a lower salary when they go to the negotiating table when he's a restricted free agent this summer.
Right.
That we have reached full peak paranoia as a fan base.
Yeah, we are just out of control as a fan base.
None of us are mentally healthy.
Yeah, we're not right. We're gonna need. You're right. Now I agree with you. Now we need these extra days off. Right, we're gonna need.
That's what we came back from an All-Star break, and the Bulls were like, "Here's some shit. Here's some shit. Here's some more shit. Oh, remember the good old days? Here's some shit about the good old days. It's also bad.
Yeah, because you can't get over that. Because tonight you got to go see the updates with Scotty Horace.
But it's okay because when recently after the trade deadline catching up with somebody on the Bulls beat, an anonymous high-ranking Bulls executive said, the fans are happy. What are you talking about?
They love it. You love it. Why is Horace talking about he can beat up Dennis Rodman?
Man.
What was that? Like, I don't even understand why.
We were going to touch on that today before the Pat.
Sorry, it just popped in my head when you mentioned that.
We can touch on that. Yeah. So in case you missed that video that was going around and viral, I think it was the Ball Don't Lie Twitter account who posted a video of it. Horace said, quote, I would have kicked Dennis Rodman's ass when he was saying, a lot of people compare like who the X Factor was on the first 3P team and the second 3P team. And it was, Horace.
Who compares
And then it was Dennis. People talk about it. And people talk about the reason the Bulls fell short in the playoffs in '95 is because they did not have that front court presence.
Correct.
Because Horace was beating them in an Orlando
Absolutely
jersey.
True.
I love Horace. I got nothing but love for Horace. Uncle Horace. He's the man. I think he's just dead wrong about that. Because what did Horace have a little bit of a reputation for in his playing days? Being mentally soft.
Oh,
when the Pistons were bullying up the Bulls and kicking their ass.
Scotty, yes. Horace really didn't have that rep like that. Scotty for sure. Scotty had that rep and proved it, but Horace was fighting cats.
Horace complained.
Yeah, he complained. He was fighting them cats. He would fight you. He would fight you, dog.
Fair enough. But I'm okay. I'm not talking physical strength.
Okay.
I'm talking Rodman's head games.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Rodman's mental strength.
And then we'll be kicked out of the game.
Horace.
Because, yes. Then yes.
I mean, we watched it. We watched it happen. Rodman in a Pistons jersey mentally tortured Horace Grant.
That's true. This is true.
Could he kick Rodman's ass now at the ages they are now? Maybe.
I don't want to see that
because
fight.
Dennis Rodman has spent the last 40 years abusing the shit out of his own body.
Hey, Grandpa, both of y'all, all right? Let's catch this meal. Let's get dinner at 4 p.m. and get the hell out of here. What are we fighting for? Y'all about 60 years old. Stop this. This tour is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous.
I'm so excited that Mark is going.
I am. I can't wait to get the update.
It's like, okay, it's 4:30 in Chicago right now. 4:30 a.m. It's just like, so it's 9:30 a.m. Saturday in Melbourne, where Mark is. 8 p.m., I believe, later tonight in Australia, is when Scotty and Horace and Luke Longley are going to take the stage and talk to a bunch of Bulls fans in Australia. About the good old days and tell their version of The Last Dance. And that's like what Scotty, like the teaser quote that they used from Scotty is saying a lot of people want us to talk, or a lot of people want to ask us about that bullshit documentary.
Look, Scotty's I am so interested in what Scotty's going to have to say.
Already wrote a book about it, by the way. Scotty did.
No, because I'm where is Scotty? What non-facts are Scotty going to throw into this? Okay, guys, when I scored my first 69-point game, so what was happening, Phil Jackson, didn't want me to get in there. So he said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in this new guy called Michael Jordan. But, Scotty, you weren't even on the team. And neither was Phil Jackson at that time. Why are you disrupting me in my truth? No bull is what I'm giving you on this tour. Bring me my deuces. That it will be sponsored by his brand of liquor. And also they're doing it in Australia because Scotty is a part of the NBL. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. Their basketball
he's
league
made
out
several
there.
Trips down there recently. Yeah.
So that's another reason they're holding it in Australia. And, of course, Luke Longley with that. Luke is the one I'm like, what's Luke there for?
Yeah. I got to say, like, I don't really know anything about anything when it comes to this type of stuff, which is why I appreciate talking with you guys because you always educate me on it. But it does feel like he's a little bit out of place. Like he's kind of like more of the like chilling on the side, just kind of taking it all in. Yeah. Whereas everybody else is kind of like butting heads a little bit. Yeah. So I'm curious, is he going to be like more of a moderator? Is he like, is he just going to be like, yeah, well then Michael did this to me.
I went to the website and they have some Australian actor who will serve as the MC of the event. So he'll be the moderator. Wow. Just, lobbing questions to Scotty, Horace, and Luke. And I agree that Luke feels a little out of place. I have seen on Scotty's Instagram on these various trips to Australia recently for NBL that he and Luke have gotten like reacquainted and are like catching up and are buddies again. I
did see that.
And I do think that Luke was hurt a little bit to be completely excluded from The Last Dance. He was the team's starting center for 3 consecutive championship seasons. And like, okay, again, shrug emoji, sure, yeah. Fine, I agree with you. He was completely excluded from it. But he already also got his Scotty's unguarded autobiography, response because some media company over in Australia made an 1.5 hour long documentary about Luke Longley being excluded from the Last Dance documentary.
And who was in that documentary, Matt?
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan. The dude who he's like, oh, they're getting over, they can't be out. Who showed up for your documentary then? Michael Jordan showed up for your doc. The Luke Longley documentary. Mike said, I got time for you, bro. I got you. He made sure you ate. That should be the name of it. The Last Dance. It shouldn't be The Last Dance. It should be Mike helped us eat. That should be the name of it.
And the further removed we get from it, and each time I rewatch it, is there a part of me that feels that like The Last Dance is just so self-filleting by Michael? Yes.
I loved it.
And, somebody, I think when we were talking about this most recently, clap back, when we were reacting to what happened with Jerry Krause and his widow on, Ring of Honor night, somebody in the comments that night was like, well, it's not like MJ had creative control over that documentary. Yes, he 110% did. And it was like, MJ's awesome. Everyone come along with me while I poke and prod and get what I need out of you and belittle you and tease you and demean you and beat you up sometimes even, so that you can win with me and how great is winning. And I'm mostly why we win, and winning is winning, and it's me and I am winning. But you all won too. That's the vibe. That's the vibe. And
that's the fact.
Maybe it's easier said than done. as a fan who watched all that winning and these different personalities clash but come together and say, dude, just be okay with that. Just be okay with the fact that you were teammates with the greatest team sport athlete ever.
Ever.
He got more money than you. He deserved more. He got
right.
more praise and adoration than you. He deserved more.
Damn right. Judd Bushler got 3 years, $30 million from the Detroit Pistons when he left. Judd Bushler. Scott Williams got paid.
Luke Longley's body was broken. He got another contract.
Got broke off by Phoenix and Minnesota. He got a check. All them dudes
York
left.
The Knicks.
Yeah. All them dudes got checks when they left, and we all knew they weren't worth what they were getting paid. Jason Caffey had a career. Dickie Simpkins, who Joey don't even think is a real person.
Who went and lived in a cave until the Bulls had the 95-96 team on Ring of Honor night. And everyone was like, hey, Jason Caffey's here.
Then we looked at him like, damn, I see. Jason Caffey? Dennis Hobson had a career. All right, come on, dog. Let's be Randy Brown. Randy Brown got 3 years, $9 million from when he left.
The Bulls are still paying Randy Brown.
3 years, $9 million. He got that from another team. He got that from Boston, if I ain't mistaken. Randy Brown got a check. A check, dog. Just for being on the team. These dudes, come on, man. It's Michael Jordan. It's why they called it Michael Jordan and the Bulls. There's a reason they said it like that. If you don't like it like that, I understand it, but this is the greatest player to ever play the game. What you want them to do, bro? And Corey Blunt. Yes, Corey Blunt had a career.
He did not have a career.
He had a career. When he left, he played for the Lakers, and he won another ring when he went to the Lakers. And then he went to Portland. No, Corey Blunt had a career. Thank Jordan. Come on, man. Corey Blunt. Come on. Come on. Oh, these dudes get checks.
Oh, my goodness.
They got checks, bro. Shout out to them getting checks.
Yeah, wow. A 10-year career where he played for virtually half the teams in the NBA. Corey Blunt, 93
he had a career.
to 03-04.
A career.
My goodness. never did a lick of a damn thing. Wow. We're out of time. Look, am I curious? Can I not wait to see some clips start popping around NBA Twitter of these three former Bulls legends sitting and talking together? Oh, I am going to eat it up.
Yes.
Because, hey, our present life as Bulls fans is shit. Even if it's not enjoying the nostalgia of the old days, let's watch some drama from the old days and eat some popcorn.
Why not? Why not?
That's what we have.
Come on Sunday.
Oh, God. Everything. All of it's just,
Welcome to the party, pal.
Come out to the coast of Australia. We'll have a few laughs. Oh, my goodness.
Scott Farrell.
Everybody, we will see you on Sunday. Bulls, Pelicans. Bulls off tomorrow. Enjoy the start to your weekend. We'll talk to y'all post-game following Bulls, Pelicans. 6 p.m. Central tip, I believe. So we get a nice little early tip off there. In the meantime, follow Will the Goat on Twitter, Will_Gottlieb. Read everything he writes. Will at ALLCITY.com. Big Dave Bow, BWL Sports. Our pal producer, Joey Spathis.
That's him.
Breaking news live during the show.
Yes.
He is at Joey Spathis. Timeout. Calling timeouts quicker than Billy Donovan over there, Joe. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Appreciate you, Bulls fans. Hit that like button on your way out. We appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe. Grab yourself that Sub-Zero gear from our CHGO merch locker. Grab it while it's hot. Grab it before it's gone. We'll talk to you Sunday. See you, good. Corey Blunt!
We all silly like the mayor.